to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Marcus, and this is Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. With me again, I have my guest co-host, Amy.
Hi, everyone.
Glad to have her back again. She's sticking with me now for a year and a half.
I'm here.
And we're going to have her as long as she'll be here.
That's right.
Amy likes to travel, likes to do different things, and so she's a little butterfly.
Yeah, free spirit.
Kind of a free spirit. So we'll see how long she lasts.
Oh, come on.
I want her to last a long time, obviously.
There we go.
You're a great co-host.
Thank you.
Hey, today we're going to talk about profiles. You want to be a sugar daddy? You want to be a sugar baby? Let's talk about profiles. I guess that's where it all starts, right?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's dive in.
Your profile was very interesting. Where did you come up with it? It was very eloquent.
Elegant?
Eloquent. It was, the wording on it was unlike any other profile I'd read. You had something about how you can navigate conversations.
Yes. Yeah. So
Where did you come up with this?
Where did I come up with it? So I am not afraid to fine-tune my profile. I started out with, I knew what I wanted from the very beginning, and I just basically created a profile, like put together a rough draft, posted it, and then started getting messages of all sorts. And after some time, like just in, I believe, like a regular dating app, you need to tweak your profile. You need to figure out how to attract the laws of attraction, how to attract the right people that you want for your situation. And so that's basically what I did is, I mean, you've known me for so long, I can talk to anyone. I can go out on the street and make a best friend. Like that's just kind of how I am. And that's my gift. So I've always been really great at that. I'm not afraid to step out. I am a little more introverted, but at the same time, I have extrovert tendencies, and I'm just I'm very good socially when I need to be. So it's, I can navigate that, and that's just
I thought
always
that
stuck
described
with me.
you well, because as I've introduced you to friends of mine and people, you seem to light up and the conversation goes amazingly. And then you tell me, I'm an introvert and I don't want to be social.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? You're doing amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that's because of my parents. They did such a great job.
Right.
So anyways, but yeah, so what about your profile? Like what drew me to yours was how vibrant you were. Like you're full of life, and your profile really showed through in your profile, and you were so adamant on meeting so quickly. And that is just something that doesn't happen very often. Normally people want to like talk a while, they want to have a phone conversation. I remember thinking like, oh man, I was on there, I can't remember, less than a month or something. And you were just like, let's have some tea. I was like, okay. So we met at this wonderful little coffee shop. Remember?
Yeah, it was during COVID and everything was
Yeah.
shut down.
Yeah.
They just had takeout only. So we got coffee and sat in the car for 3 freaking hours.
Yeah, it was really great.
And had a great conversation.
Nothing happened outside of the conversation, but it was just really lovely. It was really wonderful.
Yeah.
So
No, I knew I wanted to see you again after that.
yeah, hook, line, sinker.
But you know what? So that profile evolved over time, and it's still not even the same profile I have to this day.
I haven't seen your profile lately, so I'm not sure what's on there.
When I first signed up on the site, basically you create a profile and you're kind of like, this is what I do. This is kind of what I'm looking for. You know, these are my hobbies or this and that, or maybe I'd like to meet. And anyway, I can't remember exactly how my first profile went, but as I started getting messages, I'm like, well, I'm going to have to start being a little bit more specific about what I'm looking for because as I've mentioned this in other episodes, you get everybody from, hey, I'm not really wanting to go to dinner. I just here for the sex only.
Yeah.
And then all the way to the other end of the range. And so I kind of had to tweak my profile to figure out, okay, if you fit in this range from here to here, let's talk.
Yeah.
And you're still going to get messages from people that
I've seen some of the
basically
messages
solicit
you
you.
get.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to take
like,
you
hey,
for a
baby, what are
ride.
you doing tonight?
Oh, don't ever do that. Any gentleman that is, or female that is listening to this, do not start your conversation with, "Hey baby." You do not know these people. They are not your baby. They are not your thing, your sugar or whatever yet. Like,
That's one of your pet peeves.
oh my God, I cannot stand it. I don't know why they do it. Like,
Well,
it's weird. It's just weird.
And from my side, the "Hey daddy," oh gosh.
Oh,
You know I am old enough to be your daddy, but please don't call me
oh
that.
my gosh. Yeah, that's the worst.
And I know we are on a sugar daddy website, but most guys cringe a little bit when
God,
people call them daddy.
I don't even like being called a sugar baby. And I know we've covered that before, but I hate it. Like, don't call me a sugar baby. I love sugar dating and I love like what it can offer people. But yeah, don't like sit there and like call me a sugar baby to my face, because it's like, okay, I guess I am one, so I should like embrace that. But it's just one of those things. Like, you don't like being called sugar daddy. Like, hey, sugar daddy. It makes you feel really small. And it's like, man, I am doing this. Like, this is what I am, and that's fine. And there are some people out there that, you know what, if you're one of those people out there and you really embrace that title. I don't like titles. I don't like labels. I try to avoid that stuff. I'm not in social media. I don't do anything. Like, I am like, just don't put me in that don't say that. So anyways,
Well, as time went along and the messages came, I tweaked my profile to try to narrow it down, and it did a really nice job. The one you saw was where I did kind of describe a little bit about myself, and then I described what I was looking for and kind of gave an expectation to what they could, that they're going to get from me. Hey, I'm looking for someone that can hang out 1 to 2 times a week. If you enjoy concerts, movies, sporting events, and, and a nice allowance to go with that, then let's chat and see and meet fairly quickly. And I did put in there, I like to meet fairly quickly because of all the texting and messaging that goes back and forth. And then when you meet them, you've just wasted a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks because they're just not your type.
And you prioritize them because the conversation was going so smoothly over text, over other people. And then it like you said, it backfires. You've had a couple of those.
Yeah. So I like to meet as quick as possible. And matter of fact, our guest, Vanessa, that was one of her requirements too, or one of her preferences was to meet as quick as possible because she doesn't like wasting time either. And I think that's why we got along so well. But the profile I use now, I actually I studied some relationship experts, or I listened to some on YouTube, and they had some advice. One in particular had some advice on how to write a really good profile for a male. So I tried it out. A lot of people don't like it, but
wait, the girls don't like it?
Yeah, because
Really?
Here's the reason why. So now my profile says, here's what I'm looking for. My ideal woman is between 5 foot and 5'9", long blonde hair, brunette or auburn, but long hair, into fitness, understands men. And I kind of just go off on all these like ideal items. If I could build a perfect woman, what would they be? And I list all of those items. And I get messages like, well, I don't know what pie in the sky you're looking for, but I'm not it. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
But you know what? I get other messages that say, I fit your description. And all of a sudden now they're engaged and they're wanting me to contact them back because they just read my description. They're like, oh my God, you just described me perfectly. Yeah.
There's somebody out there for everyone. And
sure.
And it's really sad. It's those people, those negative people that are probably messaging you, they're not taking the time or the effort themselves in their own profile. And they're not taking the time to really realize what they really want. And so they're trying to belittle you and make you feel inferior. And
But it's great
sad.
because I can weed them out very quickly. And now I'm getting really to the heart of what I'm looking for. And I'm getting a better quality person.
You definitely are. Oh my gosh, the girls you're getting now are just like, I'm like, oh my God, who am I?
I've gone from, sorry, but you're like a 6 or below. I'm just not interested because I actually like taking you out on the town. It makes me feel good. What guy doesn't like going to dinner, going to a concert, or going to a sporting event with a drop-dead gorgeous woman? Yeah. Now, I understand not everybody is drop-dead gorgeous, and personality actually outweighs that. But if I can find a mixture of getting up around a 7, 8, 9 with a very good personality, I'm happy as a cat. Like I'll go out at night and I'm just beaming because I've got this really.
Oh, it carries on to the next day.
Oh,
the
yeah.
next morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see you every morning.
I mean, who doesn't like that, right?
Yeah, it's really something magical. It's really special.
And I think that's kind of why we're on the site.
Yeah.
Is, hey, I've worked really hard. My business is doing well. I have some extra funds. I'll be happy to help you out. And then accompany me. Let's have a fun night. Yeah. Great conversation.
Yeah.
Fancy dinners, whatever.
Sure.
Or just we'll go bowling. I don't even care. But
yes.
it's just nice to do it with somebody that makes your heart beat a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So that's kind of where my profile is now. Now, you just changed your profile up, didn't you? Again, I think.
I did?
I think so.
Probably. I don't know. I haven't been on there in a while.
Well, it's ever evolving with you.
Yeah, I think it's sorry, I'm yelling into the mic. I think as I am going on, because my situation has changed, I'm struggling. And I think let's get real for a second. Every girl experiences moments where you feel that you're not adequate compared to others on the site. You feel that nothing is happening, nothing's moving forward. And it's because I feel that, I don't know, like maybe it's the geography of where I'm at. I'm just not sure, but
you go through ups and downs.
I do.
There will be times where you'll get bombarded with
messages,
lots of
and
choices.
I'm just like, oh my gosh.
And then there'll be a week and you're like, nobody loves me. Nobody messages me. It's dead. The site's dead. There's nobody good here.
Yeah. And
that's not true.
It's not true.
It's just you're going through cycles.
It's cycles, and that's fine. And I think that it really has to do with, I noticed that it kind of correlates weirdly what's going on in my outside of my life, right? So if I seem to be like really busy and like keep going, like, I don't know, my profile, I'll read my profile and I'm like, wow, this could be much more positive, much more energetic sounding. Mm-hmm. And then I'll change it and I'll get like a ton of hits, some good, some bad. And then kind of when I'm like in that slump, or I'm feeling like there is no one, it's almost like I tend to get very, I don't know, like desperate, I guess. So, and which is sad. It happens, right? Where I'm just like, man, and then that profile will change. So it all is about my mindset, and that changes. I try to be as consistent as possible, but it does change because it's just a matter of what's going on in my life at that time. So
some of these men that you have met,
yes,
wow.
Like wow in a good way.
Like wow, like very, very wealthy.
Yes. Yeah.
Very powerful.
Very.
Living in multi-million-dollar homes. You've showed me pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
Multiple multi-million-dollar homes.
Yeah.
Dating movie star girlfriends, some of these guys.
Yes, yeah.
So you seem to attract a little higher caliber man than a lot of the feedback I get from the girls and women on the site.
Yeah.
I think they'd be very envious of the guys that you are meeting.
Yeah, I've had that before. A lot of times, like what I think it is too is these girls, they think that these men are looking to settle down, and these guys aren't. They have done that already, and or they are still married. They're wanting fun. They're wanting somebody fun, but somebody that can hold their own. They don't want a sloppy, really skimpy.
They're not looking for a prostitute.
No, they're not looking.
They're not
for
looking to go out to dinner with somebody with
yeah,
barely anything on.
Yeah, and
they
you have
want it to be
able
classy.
Yeah, so I highly recommend to all women take an etiquette class. I watch etiquette, like finishing. Like one of my dreams is to go to finishing school. I believe that it will help me in business. I believe that it will help me in all aspects of life.
Sure.
I just watched videos, and then I also study the people. Like when I do go out to these dinners or galas with these men, I study and I really observe and I take in my surroundings, and I basically mimic what these high caliber women do. And, it is important to be that trophy girlfriend at that point, but you can learn something from it. Take every moment and every opportunity you can from these gentlemen to learn something and to better yourself and to become that higher caliber. I am shooting for the stars, and by George, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take in as much as I can.
Yeah, there's so much more than the financial aspect of this opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah.
The contacts that you've made.
Oh, business contacts. I have.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. Like some of the, so I can't tell you what business I'm in, but some of the top like people in the world I've gotten to meet, and or they have connections to some of the greatest minds in the world. The other thing is too with that is I take the time to really, I empathize with these people a lot. Like there is compatibility there, and it's because I take the time, I slow down. Usually, I think for me, like when I know that it's going to work with somebody, it's usually like 2 or 3 good dates, like really solid dates. And I mean hours, like we're hanging out for hours. It might be scheduled for like just a coffee, ergo you, and it ends up being 3 hours. And it's because you get lost. I am so focused on you and you're focused on me, and the exchange, that energy is like flowing and it's just smooth. And it's really phenomenal. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not sitting there taking pictures. Oh my gosh. There have been so many guys that are like, they'll just be on their phone, like taking pictures, selfies, like trying to, show where they're at. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not into that. So ladies, stay focused on him. He's taking time out of his very busy schedule, his life, to meet you. That means something. That is something. You are something to him. It just, how short is it going to be, or how long is it going to be? Mm-hmm. That is up to you, ladies, and it is up to the guy, but you can kind of navigate that a little bit, and you can control that situation if you're just present.
So you have time actually, and some of these guys only see you maybe once a month,
yes,
once every few months, maybe twice a month. So you have actual time to kind of take on multiple relationships in that sense. How do you juggle those?
So how do I juggle them? Marcus, come on. I would say it's hard. It's not easy for me because I have so many other things going on. Like I'm striving for many other things. I have so many things going. I treat it as like how I juggle it is I'm very honest with them. I try to be as honest as I possibly can. They all know that I'm non-monogamous. I'm not necessarily, and I tell them, like I will let them know if I'm back on the site or not. And I'll be like, listen, unfortunately I haven't seen you in a while, and I need a little extra help or something. And usually they'll be like, oh, well, let me help you with this. Let me help you with that. Like, what do you need help with? Like, or they'll be like, okay, well, that's fine, because they have other girls and they talk about their girls, and it's arousing. But
so you actually like hearing about the other girls?
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely.
Why is that?
Come on, I am.
You're a little voyeuristic.
Yeah, I'm a voyeur. I enjoy women just as much as I do men. I'm not bisexual. I'm not whatever. I don't know what the label is anymore because I don't keep up on that crap. But I have no idea
who knows
what
anymore?
I don't know. There's like so many layers, and I'm just like, whatever. I enjoy women. I think women are beautiful. They're stunning. I like to see a man and a woman, and I like to picture it. I like to picture a guy, like my guy, dominating or being with another woman.
So why doesn't the jealousy factor come into this? Why are you so secure with yourself and hearing about this?
So
aren't you worried that they may kind of push you to the side? And
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, how many times have I told that to you? Like, don't forget about me, like But I think it's having the confidence in myself and being comfortable with myself to bring that up if I do feel left out. Like, how many times have I been like, well, I feel neglected a little. I feel like you've forgotten about me. You're dating like 3 or 4 other girls and you don't have time for me as much, but that's okay. It's just, I'm not afraid to express that. Jealousy doesn't happen because I have my own stuff going on. To me, and it's going to sound like I have huge ego, but I don't. I am striving towards something that's something that I've always never thought I could do. I'm really making headway in that. So I'm very confident in myself because I have my own thing going. And I think that's important for a lot of people. I don't get wrapped up in, oh, well, she is she is prettier, like Vanessa's stunning. It's like, well, that's okay. That's fine. There's always going to be prettier people around. It's just a matter of you gotta be comfortable with who you are. Now, that isn't to say that I haven't experienced heartache before, because I have. And that was, I just decided from that point on, and that happened very young. I was very young when that happened. Like I was like 18 or 19.
Now, this was a traditional relationship.
Yes. Oh, I was 18 or 19.
Sure.
Yeah, this was way before I even got into sugar dating. Cheated on for so many years. After, I don't know, I just remember sitting back thinking, like, why did this happen? And then it just, something clicked, and I was like, why? I was jealous at first, and then I was like, why am I jealous of this? That person made their decision. He just didn't communicate properly. He wasn't communicating that he wanted to see someone else. I don't believe that people are meant to be monogamous. There are people who can do it, and that's great. But at some point or another, how many people have you met that are like married, have been married for years? Some of the guys I've dated have been married for a long time. They adore their wives. They're lacking, men are sexual creatures, so they have needs. We all have needs, and so in my mind, I'm just like, the jealousy just has never existed besides that one instance, and it just was an automatic switch for me. So, what about you? What is your, so you know that I see other people. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, we kind of compared it to my ice cream parlor, and I had 32 flavors that I served, and I liked them all. But I definitely have my favorites. People come and people go, and I get that, and I understand that. I liked in the episode with Vanessa that we talked about, with a traditional relationship, sometimes we're wondering when the expiration on this relationship will be. But with the sugar dating, you just you're there, you have fun, you're not worried about marriage, you're not worried about relationships, you're just enjoying each other's company. And when it ends, it ends.
Yeah.
Right? People move, people actually get boyfriends or girlfriends, people.
So how do you, kind of circling back to that question, and maybe you're getting to it, how do you deal with the jealousy? Because I remember at the very beginning, when you first started dating me, it was kind of, you weren't really used to non-monogamous, were you? I mean, you said that you were, but you weren't open about it.
Yeah, I always had one or two on I had my main arrangement relationship. I ended up getting into a 1.5-year relationship with the very first girl I met on the site.
Yeah, and it was serious.
For her, it was. She kept telling me that we were going to be married within 5 years, and I just kind of went along with it. I loved her. I adored her. I helped her out tremendously. I gave her so many opportunities. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to take advantage of many of those and kind of reverted back to her previous lifestyle. But we're still friends to this day, and we ended on good terms. But I always had a little bit something on the side going, because I kind of knew that I wasn't treating it like she was, like a relationship. I was treating it more as an arrangement. Yeah. Hey, let's go out a couple times a week. And I took her, matter of fact, a memory came up on my Facebook today. We went and saw Coldplay this time 4 years ago. It was an absolutely fantastic concert. I got this little cooler, and her favorite tequila is Patron Silver. And so I got this little cooler, and I put Patron on ice, and I got some limes. So we got to the concert, and we got out of the truck, and I pull out this cooler, and I get us a couple shots, and she was in heaven. She's like, nobody has ever done this before me.
Aww.
Done this before for me. And so I pretty much had her hooked from that point forward. I just thought it was a cool gesture. I didn't think that, I'm not sitting here trying to impress her. I just thought it would be fun. I know that's her favorite drink, because we did shots of tequila on the very first night we met.
My God.
So I knew that was her favorite drink. And so we got the party started right and had fun the entire night. And yes, I really enjoyed her company. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to last forever, but she did fall for me. Yeah. Which, hey, can you help that? But
Too adorable.
Yeah, but we had a great run, and I'll cherish it to this day.
Yeah.
But I did kind of see other people to fulfill some of the other flavors.
The needs.
And needs. Yeah. And she was actually okay with that for a long time. We didn't really discuss it as the relationship got a little bit more serious.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, it was kind of that type of relationship. She probably had inkling. I mean, she had some health problems, and she would say, look, I can't go out tonight, so I'm really sorry. My back is acting up. I can't get out of bed. So I was fine. You know, I'll go find something else to do. And I did. So that's kind of how I handled that. And then what I found out was, guys, don't get so hung up on one woman, because that's where the heartbreak leads to. There is a bus every 15 minutes.
Jeez.
Like literally the next bus is in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's an unlimited supply. It's just an unlimited buffet of women that are willing and wanting to meet you and to go have fun with you. Unless I think
you're both on the same page, though, because remember, like, we also have to be, there are also other people out there that are looking for marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think those girls, like, they will not. When I meet someone, I get off the site. I'm like, no, I'm off.
Right,
like, I'm not, because I want to focus on them.
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of time for multiple.
Well, I do have multiple, but I don't have that much time.
Yeah, but once you get one or two,
I'm good.
You're good, and you get off the site.
Yeah. So we need to be mindful of those people.
Yeah. I've had my heart broken on the site, and I've been hurt. You start having genuine feelings for people. Don't get me wrong. Even though I'm not looking for marriage or a full-blown relationship, I still enjoy that person's company, and we form a bond. Anytime in intimacy, there is a bond that you form.
Oh, yes.
Automatically, almost. It's not just a sexual act.
Yeah.
And then when you're having conversations over dinner or a night out on drinks and dancing, you're really enjoying a person. So when that person leaves, there is a little bit of hurt, a little bit of heartbreak. Yeah. I mean, we're it's the natural thing.
We're human.
Yeah. You just can't cry yourself to sleep over it and lose, a lot of sleep at night and have anxiety, because literally there's another bus in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I have to look at it. But I still care very deeply for every single person that I meet on there.
Yeah, you're definitely not like, there are some guys on there that are just out to get as many as they can and get what they want. I've run across those guys. I haven't been as blessed as some of our guests. I have run across the bad ones, but I also learn from those mistakes. And I will say those are probably the lower points that I've had, but great learning mistakes. I, obviously don't follow through with anything, but it just, meeting them for wherever, it's pretty quick to tell, easy to tell. Yeah. And there's some pretty crazy stories there, but we won't dive into that.
Well, I want to kind of move on a little bit, and because we want to really discuss in-depth profiles today.
Yes, yeah.
So what are some of the things that you like and that you don't like when somebody messages you? What gets your attention?
Okay, what gets my attention is usually when a guy or gentleman will message me, and it's not a book. Like, you're not telling me your entire life story.
I've gotten a few of those.
Yes. And
you're
then,
like, wow, what day did you have the time to write all this?
Yeah, they're just copying and pasting.
Okay.
They're just going through trying to get anyone, right? So not anyone, but some of them are genuine and heartfelt. So it's not a book, but then it's not just like a, hey, babe.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Yeah.
How's the site treating you?
Yeah, I actually am not a fan of somebody giving me their number right away. It usually takes like 3 to 4 days for me to feel comfortable enough to be like, okay, I will message you. Now, granted, I do not have a real number, but I don't want a bunch of numbers. Within 3 to 4 days, those guys are checking the site pretty often. Like, you're on there.
Yeah, and
a lot.
And let me kind of interject here.
Yeah.
Tip: do not use your real number.
Yes, do not. Yeah.
Google Voice is a great resource.
Yeah.
I use Google Voice, and I have a number
WhatsApp
there.
app.
Yeah, there's all kinds. There's some free texting apps.
Yeah.
I actually hate it when a girl gives me a text now or a text me number, is because I can't skip trace them. That is why they do that, because they don't want to know. You don't know what kind of crazy people you're dealing with. Yeah. Now, I will eventually give somebody my real number once I get comfortable with them, but I still try to keep everything on Google Voice.
Oh, for sure.
Personally.
That takes months for me.
I've even had people months later that I'm thinking, oh God, I'm glad I didn't give them my real number.
Yes,
because
yes.
something
The
goes
crazy
wrong
comes
and the
out.
crazy comes out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like, oh, if they had my real number, I can easily block them on Google Voice. But,
Yeah.
if they had my real number, it would be a nightmare.
Yeah. They were going to try calling you from other people's numbers.
Yeah. Tip for men and women, do not be giving people your real number immediately.
Yeah. Google Voice, super easy to set up.
Yeah.
Or WhatsApp. But
I do usually give somebody that number fairly quickly because if they want to text me right off the bat, they can. But I don't mind if they want to message through the dating app.
yeah.
You're more comfortable doing that, messaging back and forth through the dating
Yeah,
app
because-
before you actually
Yeah.
text them.
And that's because I've made the mistake. Like that's another learning curve that I had to go through was if I gave them the number immediately, the number one or number two question that they would ask after the text message was how much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to work.
Right.
If you're already asking how much, you tell me all the time, you're like, you're the cheapest girl. I'm just like, I'm not looking for a lot. Like, I'm really not. I'm at a point where I'm very comfortable. Like, I live a very modest life. I'm not going out shopping. I don't blow my money on a bunch of BS that's just going to go out of fashion or I'm going to get bored of it after a while. I have goals. I strategically plan and I save and it's for actual legitimate things. But that's me. That's just me.
So what gets your attention?
My attention.
If I'm a guy messaging you and I
Yeah.
want you to respond because there's so many
Yes.
that do not respond.
Yes. So I always read the profile. I will
Okay.
always read the
So
profile.
the profile is very important.
Yeah. So sometimes if it is a longer message, I will not even read that message until after I've looked at their profile because they will also it's a compare and contrast situation where sometimes they'll say one thing in the message, but they don't expect you to read their profile. It contradicts.
I've seen that
totally
too.
contradicts itself.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, that's not it. The other thing that I'm attracted to is I do look at your income and your net worth. I do look at that.
Now, we can put any number on there.
Yeah, I know that. But if you're a diamond member, a premium, if depending on your level of status as well. Also,
Do you see many diamond members on there?
yeah, there's a couple. So those I get a lot. The most of the
I think
people,
they're verified too.
Yeah. So most people that message me are diamond members.
Really?
Yeah, I get a lot of diamond people, but it's because my profile is so well articulated and
Maybe that's why you're meeting very successful and wealthy men.
Well,
on
I
there.
think I've put it out there. I've taken the time to do this. I'm not I fit in that category, I believe. That I'm not trying to I fit in that. I believe that I've strived for that my entire life. My mom was obsessed with Queen of England. And so, the finishing school, that stems from my mom. That stems from how I was raised. We were well off. I'm not going to lie. I started very, very poor growing up. And then my mom married in a wealthier man. And we were thrown into this higher caliber world. I learned a lot there. I just, that's the world that I want to be in. I want to be like Melania Trump that Trump girl.
So how much does the photos come into play?
So for me,
What do you like to see when you look at the photos? Muscles?
Oh God, no. Oh God, if you show me a half naked picture of yourself, not classy, not tasteful to me.
So the Speedo at the beach, that's not doing it for
No,
you?
or the towel in the
Or
bathroom.
the towel, sure.
Or the hotel picture, okay, whatever.
So a lot of guys do post those type pictures.
They because men are under this impression, women, we are not visual creatures like men. I'm sorry to say, we are just not visual creatures. Men love to see naked women. They love that. I'll ask you in a minute what you like, because I'm sure it's very different. I like to see you doing the things that you like. I really enjoy seeing you. You can dress up, dress down, whatever. I am more into people that are really humble, I would say kind of hippie meets capitalist a little bit. That's what I like to see. If you show a naked picture, a half naked, if you're on a boat with a group of people, I get that. That's fine. But if you're posing like a 20-year-old girl in the picture and you're trying to be sexy and think that No, that's one thing I
Now,
don't
I've
like.
heard from many women that they actually like to see men doing things, hiking with groups.
Yeah, posting
Actually,
stuff that you like, your hobbies.
right.
Yeah,
That's the pictures that are more attractive to them and that they find appealing.
yeah. I mean, it's because I think you as a woman, like that's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody that has the same. We operate differently. Women are from Mars, men are from Venus, or
Close.
vice versa.
Vice versa.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. It's
Have
been
you
a
read
while.
the book? It's actually a really good book.
I've been told about it, but
They have it on Audible.
So yeah, I need to get that. But anyway, so I think it has to deal with that. Like we want that connection, and allowing us to join you on your adventures is a part of that. Like I love that. I would love to do that. I'm not a high crazy. I don't like loud things. So I have sensitive ears, unlike somebody. So it's just one of those things. But what about, okay, so let's stop with me for a second. What about you? Like, what do you look for in the pictures? Because I've seen some ooh la la.
Right. Obviously, our eye gravitates to a certain look. Yeah. And I've always had this look. My ex-wife was from El Salvador. I've dated Hispanic girls. I do love long-haired brunettes, and the skin tone. It seems to be very attractive. But I've had lots of relationships with blondes lately. Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I think maybe my taste has evolved, or I've just...
There's nothing wrong with that. The brunettes are a lower class. But
maybe it's broadened, I guess you say.
Yeah.
I start appreciating people more for who they are versus the color of their hair. But obviously, when you're looking down hundreds and hundreds of profiles, you're going to start clicking on the ones that meet your eye. There's obviously some that have the worst pictures. Yeah. You're just like, I can't believe that's the picture you're going to lead with. And then when they may actually message you, and I'll just kind of be nice. I'm like, hey, so any luck going on there? Like, no, site's terrible. Well, I'll try to give them a little bit of advice.
So when you're scrolling through that, though, so you're talking about scrolling, what?
Yeah, I'm not reading their profiles. Actually, what I'll do, I click, let's say that there's 100. I always like to scroll through the ones that are online. That's the ones you're going to get the most response from.
So is it face pictures? Is it body pictures? Like what are you?
Oh, it's facial. Yeah.
Look at face.
Now, if they show some really attractive body picture,
like
of
butt,
them in
that
bikini,
butt pic, or
not just a
whatever.
butt, but something, because a lot of girls don't show their faces, but they'll show you a body, and you're like, okay, well, she's not 250 pounds. We can tell that. And maybe they'll show a back picture of their hair. Maybe they've got long, gorgeous blonde or brunette hair, auburn hair, whatever, and it's attractive. And then they have their private photos. Now, here's the problem. Women get upset when you click request access to their private photos and you don't send a message. Here's the problem with the formatting, Mr. Wade. It's right at the top. And so when I see their profile picture, and if I want to see more, I automatically just click private. And then once I read through, access to private, and then when I read through their profile, it may or may not be what I'm looking for, but it's at the bottom. So by the time I get done with it, I can't unclick request access.
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't send a message.
But then you just kind of move on.
Yeah, I move on, but sometimes they'll message me back. You can't even say hi first, because they have so many people just clicking on, let's see your private photos. Let's see your private photos. Let's see your private photos. And to be honest with you, man, the private photos are really nothing. The women aren't putting a bunch of nude photos on there. They're just more of the same of them in a different pose.
But kind of, like what you said, it's a lot of times I would say they're probably looking at like face. So they're like, okay, well, what's the body with that face? So that's probably why they're clicking on that. Is they're hoping that there's actual body.
Well, and I can't tell you how many, there's guys that are going to be looking for somebody heavier. I'm not that guy. Sorry. Yeah, I have my preferences. There's plenty of, let's say, chubby people on the site who get plenty of responses, and lots of guys.
They're curvy.
Not chubby. They're extra pounds.
Voluptuous. Okay, there's so many other words you can use.
There's guys looking for that, and that's fine. And they're going to find somebody on the site that likes that. But the problem is when I see a bunch of headshots and I see nothing of the body, it just makes me a little bit hesitant because I don't know, because I've seen how many beautiful, beautiful women how many overweight women have absolutely gorgeous faces and gorgeous smiles.
Yeah. Oh, the angle. Are you talking about
Yeah,
those
and
angle
different
shots?
angles and stuff. But if a woman just puts all face shots on there, it kind of sends a red flag up.
And how many girls? Okay, speaking of which, how many girls have you showed me that you were like, man, her pictures are stunning, but those dang filters. Like, yeah. And then they come in and they have like acne scars. And I'm sorry, like that really sucks. Women, I do want to let you know that there is treatment out there for that. Like if you are that insecure, like go to a med spa or something, and they have laser treatments for that. And
yeah, you did one, and it blew my mind on how well it cleared up your skin.
Well, I don't have acne scars.
No, but you had some freckles and from some sun damage.
Yeah.
And when you had that procedure, I'm not a big proponent of lots of plastic surgery. Leave your lips alone. You know, obviously breasts are very common, and guys do enjoy that. But when you start messing with your face, it just gets a little bit distorted.
The fillers,
the filler, and it starts looking unnatural.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
But
I would invest in the skin. Like
but you had your skin. You had a skin treatment. And I was shocked
and men
on how
need to
well.
do it.
I should do it too. Yeah,
I know. I keep telling you.
I was shocked on how smooth and clear your skin was after that treatment.
Yeah, and there's another one that I'm actually wanting to do that's even going to take care of getting older. Anyways.
Women, filters, I understand. You want a little softening. You want the wrinkles. You want the bags under your eyes taken out. But you're going to disappoint somebody when you show up and you're very rough.
Yes, yeah.
If you just kind of advertise that in the beginning, that's fine. Then you're not, quote unquote, catfishing somebody.
Right. Or have you experienced,
and you're still going to meet somebody.
Yeah. Have you?
There's plenty of guys there for you.
Have you experienced?
And guys the same way too.
Right. Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Have you experienced, though, Marcus, a girl that looks super young and she shows up and she's probably 10, 15 years older than what her picture looks like?
Unfortunately, more than once.
More than once?
Yes.
Really? Oh.
When I first got on the site, I was 47, I think. And a lady was texting me, messaging me, and she said she was 50. Well, I wasn't really looking for somebody a little older at the time. I was attracted to a younger look. But the pictures she sent me were amazing. And I was thinking, well, Jennifer Lopez, she looks really good for her age.
There you go.
Maybe she's just one of these ladies that ages so well and she looks so young.
And you have that friend that's a Brazilian model.
Yeah, and she's 60 something and she's still stunning.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking, well, maybe this is one of those instances. Decided to meet in a bar, and I come down and meet her. And I show up and I see this lady, and she's wrinkled and old, and she looked like my grandmother.
Really?
She actually gave me her real number, and I kind of typed it into the white pages, and I got her name, and she's 60.
She was 60?
60. Now, ladies, 60-year-old ladies, there are men out there for you, and they are looking for a 60-year-old lady, but you cannot represent yourself as 50.
Yeah.
Because when you show up, that guy... There's some guys that will just turn around and walk out. Yeah. They won't even give you the courtesy. I had a few drinks with her. I tried to have conversation with her.
Yeah.
It didn't go well. I was just perturbed the whole time.
Oh.
But you know what? You want to hear a little side note to this story?
Let's hear it.
Another girl that I had met who was pretty attractive, and she was in her 20s. We'd gone out on 3 dates. She talked about sports non-stop. We would be out to dinner, and if there's a game on or anything, she would be watching it the whole time, talking about sports. I love sports, but this was too much. It was driving me insane. I kind of started ghosting her. She was messaging me, and I just wasn't responding, and probably messaged me 4 or 5 times over a week or two, and I just quit responding to her. That was a very mature way of dealing with it. Anyway, she worked at that bar.
Oh.
So I'm sitting here with this lady that looks.
What?
I'm sitting here with this lady that was 60, and then the 20-something-year-old walks in for her shift, and she sees me at the bar with this old lady.
Oh my gosh!
I was thinking, how can this day get any worse?
That is horrible.
So she's walking by. She walks back and forth a couple times. I see her eyeballing me. Finally, turn around and go, "Hey, how are you?" She's just like, "Oh, I didn't see you sitting there." The hell you didn't see me sitting here. So I'm just ducking my face, wanting wanting to get out of there.
I would have been like, this is my grandmother.
Yes.
this
This
is my mom.
I was so uncomfortable.
Oh man.
So that
is horrible.
That
I'm
little
so
catfish
sorry.
went from bad to worse as I had to kind of face somebody that I've been ghosting.
Dang, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch, burn.
I know.
Ow.
So women, be true on your profiles, be true on your pictures.
Men, be true on your profiles.
Also, yes,
Yeah,
I know
and
men,
pictures.
it's just as bad on our side too.
They don't necessarily do so bad with pictures. I do have one instance where I met someone and he was supposed to be this really fit guy and he was like 350 pounds.
Yeah, at what point are you going to get away with that?
I sat there and I'm not going to lie, I am a nice person. I like to think that anyways. I shouldn't say that about myself, but I just, I kind of talked to him about that. And I was like, why did you misrepresent yourself? And he just he broke down and he started crying. I mean, he had the audacity to ask me if I would be willing to like hang out again. And I said, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm sorry, but that I don't trust you at all. I would never tell him this at the time, but I would never be with somebody that was that heavy of a set. It was the dishonesty that really got me, but there was a reason that he felt that way. Obviously, he's not comfortable in his own skin. Just didn't feel like he was that attractive. And I get that. I do understand that, people. I understand that we all have our insecurities. Don't do that. I mean, so many people say that, but it's heartbreaking. It's not just heartbreaking for us. It's heartbreaking to watch you have to put yourself out there like that. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. Like, just, there literally is over 1 billion people on this planet. There is somebody out there for you.
The next bus is in 15 minutes.
Well, sometimes the bus can be 30 to 40 minutes late, but that's okay.
But there is another bus.
There's always other buses coming, and there is somebody that will match you and that will like you for you. It's just, you have to be a little more patient, and that's okay. Even us more slender, smaller people, petite people, we still have the same thing. I have a very specific type that I like, and I am very patient for that. So just don't do that. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and be honest.
I think that's the biggest thing we want to take away from today's episode is set up your profile to the range that you're looking for. Be true to yourself. Don't try to represent something that you're not, because it's going to come out.
Yeah.
You're going to find that people are attracted to you. There's going to be people that aren't, and that's fine. We are not 100% attracted to 100%.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So you're going to find your range or your niche that you're looking for.
Yeah. I would say to not get your hopes up. Think of it as, for every 100 people that come across your profile, I would say 10 to 15 people will probably be attracted to you.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it goes.
I don't know what the range is, but there's definitely going to be...
there's got to be statistics out there.
Yeah, I don't know what the statistic is, but there's going to be a certain percentage that definitely finds that what you're looking for is similar to what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Amy, this has been great.
Marcus, I had a great time. Lovely again.
Yeah, I can't wait till next episode. So for now, subscribe, go to our website. We want to hear your stories. Tell us what you think of the podcast. Tell us some subjects that you might want us to cover in the future.
Yeah. And gentlemen, we have the majority of ladies we have on here, but we would love to have any gentleman be a guest, whether it be online, with the pandemic going on. It could be online, it could be in person, kind of whatever you want. But gentlemen, don't be afraid to reach out and to be on the podcast. It's really fun. I promise you.
And you don't have to
private
use
information will be shared.
Right. You don't have to use your real name or location, but we want to hear your real life experiences on the sugar dating lifestyle. And it could be sugar mamas.
Yeah.
This
or
can apply to...
If you even have a story and you want us to read it and we think it would be great, we would be happy to share your story.
Yeah.
From anonymous,
Right.
So share it. Share whatever you got. We want to hear from you. This is about you, gentlemen. This is about you, ladies. We're happy to have you as well. But gentlemen, we're really trying to gravitate more towards the men because they need a voice as well.
Yes. Great. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you guys next episode.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.